Hey guys, how are you tonight? Good? Glad to hear. Well, in this video here, I'd like to talk a little bit about angelfish. There's a reason why I want to talk about these angelfish, and it has to do with my personal experience with them. We all know angelfish are quite the opposite of their name, and they're by far one of the most aggressive fish I have in my fish room. I've got Oscars, tiger barbs, and mbunas, and these guys take the cake. But anyways, let me get into what I want to talk about in this video. We're going to talk a little bit about angelfish and a few other things about them. And by the way, if you have angelfish and you can relate to any of this information I'm about to give you, or you have any tips that you can give me, leave it in the comments below. But let's get right into this. Oh, sorry. I wasn't eating these. Yeah. So this is my 125 gallon tank. It is a community tank. As you can see here, I have angelfish. Now, these are a South American cichlid. What's nice about the angelfish is they come in so many different varieties. So you have a lot of options of what kind of angelfish you'd like to keep. If you want to keep them in their more native environment, you might want to think about keeping the pH a little lower, from 6 to neutral, 6 to 7. And you would want to keep a little bit more of a softer water. As I said at the beginning of the video, they are probably the most aggressive fish I have in my fish room. They're always going at each other. But out of all the angels that I have in here, these Ascaras, these black Ascaras with the red eyes, they are the most aggressive. And I do apologize for the glare. Now, originally I had about 4 in here, and I did add 4 more after I let them grow out in a 29 gallon. Prior to adding these new 4, you can tell by their being the smaller ones, I had a lot more aggression. So a word on the aggression with these fish, in my experience, the more that you add, it reduces the aggression. And if you watch any of my videos in the past about fish aggression, I mentioned that. But in my experience with these angelfish, that really did work. They like temperatures anywhere from 77 to 86 degrees. If you want to induce a little bit more breeding, just up that temperature a little bit more. And if you don't know, when angelfish breed, they lay their eggs vertical, and they'll do that on any flat surface like the glass or a plant leaf. Amazon swords are perfect for that. A slate rock leaned against the tank, this is where they're going to lay their eggs. And you will notice a little bit more aggression if you do happen to have eggs in here. Now, if you do want to breed these fish, you need to be conscious of what type of tank mates that you have in here with them. In this case, before I added my 4 new ones, they laid eggs, but this monster down here found them and destroyed them. So that's just something to keep in mind. A word on keeping the water parameters to match their native environment. I think it's more important to just keep your water consistent for what it is at your house. Whatever comes out of the tap, and after you detoxify it, of course, but it's more important, in my opinion, to make sure your ammonia, your nitrites, and your nitrates are in check. They're low and your water quality is high, and that goes for any fish. And they're going to be just fine. You do not have to match their native environment because, let's face it, any angelfish that you most likely have are tank bred and bought at a store. These fish are also great because they're easy on plant, so if you want a planted tank, they nip at them a little bit, but they don't destroy them. Another word on their aggression real quick, going back to that, is I find that they keep to themselves mostly. They're more aggressive to each other than any other fish. None of my angelfish in here bother any other fish. They just bother themselves. As you can see here. Sand or rock is just fine because these guys really don't interact with the substrate much. They're in the middle at the top. They will go down at the bottom, but they really don't interact with the substrate that much. So either one's fine, but I think sand looks better, and it does mimic their natural environment. Plus, sand is easier to maintain than gravel. Now, when you get these fish, keep in mind that you're not going to really want to keep them in a 20-gallon long. Now, if you first get them and you have them in a quarantine tank or a grow-out tank, that's fine for a little bit. But as they get older, these fish can get big, up to 10 to 12 inches. Keeping in mind, tall. They get tall. So, 40-gallon and larger, 55s are awesome for these fish. And of course, the bigger the better, I always say. They're labeled as a peaceful fish, and mostly they are. But I do find that they can be pretty aggressive to each other, as I just said. So, plants like jungle val, as you see here in this tank, Amazon swords that get big and bush out real big, and driftwood, rocks. You can break the line of sight for these fish. Make it so they can't see each other from each end of the tank. This is a trick that'll help reduce aggression as well. But they still find each other. But it still adds another deterrent to reduce the aggression. As time goes on, these angelfish are becoming one of my favorite fish. I really love the way they look. I love their personalities. Beautiful colors. I don't have any special angelfish here. These are going to be your lower quality angelfish. But I still think they're beautiful. Readily available to get. Their personalities are great. They look great. Just an all-around entertaining fish. And they will make any tank look beautiful as well. If we pan out a little bit here and get more of a look at the whole tank, you can see how cool they look. This is my biggest one. Again, I apologize for the glare. But that's it, just a quick species profile on angelfish. A little bit of information you might not know. I know there's lots of videos out there on them, but it never hurts to do research from multiple resources before you buy these, because not every creator touches on every aspect of these fish. So if you can watch 2, 3, 4 different people before you buy your fish, you're going to get everything you need to know about them before you put them in the tank. But like any fish, and I've said this in previous videos on my channel, every fish is different, just like human beings. You're not going to know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. You can get a fish that's said to be a terror and can be a nice guy, or vice versa. So just keep that in mind. There's not a magic wand that says this fish does that and you can put it with this fish. It's just not true. The fish you get is going to be different from mine. So just keep that in mind. Also, when you're talking about tank mates, you want a peaceful tank mate, because they can be a peaceful fish, but they also can be aggressive. But they're aggressive to their own self, in my experience. So if you get a fish that's a little bit more aggressive and goes picking at their fins and stressing them out, you will kill them. Although they will hold their own, they do have attitude, but a lot of times when it's another fish coming at them, they run away, especially if it's a bigger fish. So you're not going to want to put your tiger barbs, your umbunas in there with them, your Jack Dempseys. But again, this is all something you're going to have to try yourself to see how it works out, because maybe you can, maybe it will work. So, but that's it. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know your experience with angelfish. Leave it in the comments below. If there's a video or something else you'd like me to do on angelfish, let me know about that too. I certainly appreciate your time. Be safe. Have a good rest of your week. Tomorrow's Friday. Weekend Warriors. Till next video, guys. Thanks.